We get Kevin to quit playing basketball.
Ready.
All right, we're gonna stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. This is a point of the meeting that if you're not on the agenda and you have something that you want to bring up, you can talk about it. We can't act on it, but you can we can discuss it and bring it up at a later meeting. So is there anybody that's
Technical problems.
is there anybody that's not on the agenda that wants to say something? All right, moving right along. Alvis and Rhonda Smith, looks like the code enforcement. So, come on up and sit down. How you doing tonight?
All right.
So you're the gentleman I
Yes,
spoke
sir.
to on the phone.
Yes, sir. I'm over. I want to find out, you got all these ordinances in place, but you're not enforcing them. I guess my question's why?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, when it was brought to our attention, we did send the health department out, checks for septics and stuff like that. And then we sent, who else did I send out there? Actually, I sent our area plan, our health person, then I went out there and took pictures, and since then the area plan has sent the homeowner, which you keep, I think
Well,
you're talking about Floyd.
We were talking
Floyd doesn't own it anymore.
Right, I found that out when I got this letter
Yeah.
dated the 12th,
Well,
and
it has, actually, even the county records, I don't think have actually been updated to the point where it has the new it actually does. The GIS did have the message.
yes, because I called the auditor, somebody in your office
Yeah.
told me that she had taken it 5 May,
Yeah,
that it had been put
Well,
on the books in 5 May.
I spoke to her, and I don't know that, how that's the resolution. I mean, she's saying nobody's living there. And I know there's a pull type trailer sitting there.
They're there. The Christmas lights were on the other night. So they've got Christmas lights and everything else set up.
Well,
There's no sewage on that place.
well, there is a septic there.
Well, somebody's been running it out on the ground.
I get that, and that's why the health department went.
And we just came from the doctor today. She's got a sinus infection, and they said that's a real good possibility. We're having to smell that sewage all the time. But now she's got to my lungs now. So
Okay.
we
Well,
need to get it gone.
well, we're, as government is, it's a slow process, but we are, starting the process of telling the lady, which, Marty is the lady that
Yeah,
works
I
in the
know.
area.
I've been with
Yeah.
Marty.
So
This
anyway,
is the second time this has gone.
I get that, but what we're doing is, and the paperwork's been filed with the proper owner. She has, so many days to
It says 14 according to your ordinance.
rectify it, and to, bring it up to code, whether it's no one's living there, or, you know, the place is clean to where meets the satisfaction of the area plan and the
You were out
ordinances.
there, right?
Yes, it was.
If it was next to your property, would you want that?
No, I sure wouldn't, and I don't want it next to yours.
Me neither.
So, but again, I've drove by that property for years and never knew anybody had pulled a full type camper.
That's just happened. And the 19th of November, I think, there was gunshots fired out there. We had to call the sheriff at 7 o'clock at night to come out there.
You told me on the
Yeah.
phone, so,
And,
well, that shouldn't be either, so,
and the sheriff said, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, well, when one of those bullets come through my house, there's gonna be something like that.
I get that. Well, I just want to assure you that it is in the process of being rectified and brought to county ordinance, so, and I told I think it's Miss Campbell, I believe, that, the trailer will probably need to be moved. You just can't have a, trailer, and she says they're going to, come warmer weather, they're cleaning the property up, since it's now hers. So,
My health's going down the tubes because of it.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I can't
If
do,
I
I
die,
can't do it
I'm gonna have
tomorrow.
him sue the county. I told him that already.
You can do that. I mean, you can sue whoever you want.
Oh,
but-
yeah, I know that, I'm not gonna do that.
But the
I'll
point
just-
of it is that you want it done tonight, and I
No,
can't
no,
do
no.
it tonight.
We would like to have it done, at least put some teeth in the ordinances that you've got and get it done. I watched your December the 6th meeting, and you said, well, we're gonna pass some more ordinances. Why? You've got ordinances on the book right now, what do you need more ordinances?
Well, the reason I said that,
Yeah,
the reason I said that was because we have some people, that doesn't want to enforce the ordinances that we have. And that
and who is
ultimate,
that?
well, I mean, it falls on a lot of departments, but it ultimately comes to here. So the three of us are going to enforce the ordinances. We did it last year with 3 properties, and we're gonna do a lot more, so.
Because this first time, there was a meth lab there, and they got busted. You know, so, and it was a matter of 3 months or 2 months that they were moved in again, some different people now.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we've already started working on a list. I mean, that's gonna be our main priority to start this next year.
yeah, he's got a list, I've got a list, and Randy's got a list, so, property is gonna be cleaned up, and you're not the only ones having
Well, I
problems.
understand, I know, and that's because nothing's ever
But when
done.
you go, and I will say this, and being a member of the area plan board, property owners can do 99.9% of what they wanna do on their properties. And every time the area plan has ever went to taking something to court, to tell a property owner you can't do that, we've always lost. Cause the judge will always side with the property owner, cause, that's,
Well, if they're doing something illegal, they shouldn't,
Well,
I mean, that's.
I get that, but
part of it.
illegal and what everybody else thinks is not right is 2 different things.
Well, if it's in writing.
But it still should be, we live in a day and age that we didn't used to live in.
Right, and it's
Where
gotten worse.
people used to take care of their properties and took pride in
Well,
their
there used to
stuff,
be
but they don't do it.
consequences from not to take care of it.
I get that, and I'm telling you, I'm not talking in circles here, cause I'm only gonna say it one
I'm
more
not
time.
either.
I know, but I'm only gonna say it one more time. We're taking care of this issue now that it's been brought to us. So it's not gonna happen overnight, but it is happening. So
So-
you've got a letter stating the same letter she has, and she's got so many days to do whatever. So
Yeah, I'm reading this here,
I get
14
that.
days, 15 days.
So that's the actions.
Is this the date that it goes into effect, the 12th of December?
I haven't got that letter, cause I'm not a property owner, so.
Should be.
No, that's the date he received, that's the date the letter went out.
Well, I got that on the 14th, so I'm sure she probably got it on the 14th too.
So, that goes to the area plan, so what'll happen there is that it'll go in, well, it's gonna go to our meeting in January, and then, what happens there is that this board here, the Board of Commissioners are the final say on any violations, and if the lady doesn't abide by the ordinance, then it'll come in front of the commission, the commissioners will decide, to hold a hearing, and that hearing will have, it's like a court of law. And when she'll be brought in here and told, hey, here's the ordinance, and you got X amount of days to clean it up, so.
Well, the ordinance said 14 days and it turns right back around and, well, so sometime in what, 2046, we'll get this all taken care of?
I'll be dead and gone, so I guess, I understand your frustration, but, you also have to understand that now that it's, you brought it to somebody's attention that there's paperwork and process, then there's a process that has to follow, so. And when we will follow that process.
We have 3 other neighbors that actually victims of the same thing we're victims of.
That's fine.
It's environmental protection. It's gotten to the environment now.
You wouldn't want garbage.
Well,
in
Again,
This is one
It's
thing,
terrible in the summer.
Agent Orange
If it's
is
there in
another.
the summer,
This
we'll
is
be
not
there.
necessary.
I get that,
And
I'll take care of
I
it.
get that.
Well, I mean, I
You know?
agree with Mike, you know, you've got,
You
we've
would-
taken some action, you know,
Yeah.
the letter's been put out, now we can continue to move forward with this now that there's been some action taken. So, that's,
No. Just like Hillary Clinton, lock her up, lock her up.
Yeah, yeah, and we don't know.
Who knows this is going on?
next door to us. This could be years before it's ever
Yeah,
done.
I can tell you it's
We
not.
have no idea what's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen, nothing.
well, that won't, that.
I can tell you it's not gonna be long.
You know, actions speak louder than
Well,
words.
I mean, I get that, but again, until you've
I've
made
done
a
my part
complaint,
now.
that's
I've
exactly
done my
right.
part, so I will expect the board to do their part
That's
now.
exactly right.
You know,
That's how the things work,
you're elected, so.
but I can't go out and just, without a complaint, start doing stuff. So you've made the complaint, and you
I'd
followed the
like to be- I'd
process.
like to be kept in what's going on, because this is definitely, this don't concern somebody in Boken Road, this lady, outside of her. It concerns me and my neighbors.
I get that.
So that's what we're trying to get done. I've talked to my neighbors and none of them want it, you know, so I don't guess they have the nerve to come down here and make a formal complaint. Me, I will.
Well, I appreciate that, 'cause
No.
again,
So, you know, but I expect the law, if it's on my side, I expect somebody to do something about it.
and we are.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
all right, appreciate it.
And if it don't happen in 3 or 4 months, I'll be back down here again.
It'll happen for them.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Jesse Coomer, Dorothy Hickman, and Justin, somebody else.
I don't think they should.
So, I think I know what that's about. Thank you. I think I know what that's about. It's about our fence out there on Neville Road off of Lover's Lane. You were out there with Ben, where the guy was.
Oh, yeah.
And come to find out that that situation was not it's a private lane, and it's not county, has anything to do with the county, so. All right, Michelle.
How are you?
I'm great.
So I have great news. We came here in September and requested to write the HAVA grant. And I found out, last week that we have received it. So, we will be receiving $25,941 from the, Secretary of State for our HAVA, which is Helping America's Vote Act. The grant was written for us to take our part-time voter registration to full-time. And then we are going to have around $4,000 to advertise, because the second good news I have is we have officially passed and we are now a vote center. So we have $4,000 to advertise our vote center plan for the 2024 election.
And that is pretty much the way everybody's going in the state, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that, I mean, I'm sure somebody that's used to doing the same old, isn't gonna like that, but I think in the end, it's gonna alleviate a lot of confusion and actually, it's gonna save the county some money as
Yeah.
far as.
Yeah. And I will say,
Always.
the Democrat Party chair is the one who approached me first about going to the vote center, and then the Republican chair did. And we wouldn't have done this without the parties wanting to do this in the county, so. But yeah, so we've got that, we have the HAVA grant. So this is just my grant application that I need you to sign to give to the auditor's office because those funds will come in January 1.
All right, well, I think we've already approved you to do it, so.
Yeah. That's just the official paperwork I have to give to Mandy.
827.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you have it.
Okay, and then the other was just my, cell phone stipend request. When I put it in 2022, it got kind of shuffled around, and then the budget was taken away because, State Board of Accounts and stuff like that with the council, so I was just trying to recoup the 2022 cell phone stipend, and so when I turned in my resolution or notice to you guys to do that, it was for 22 and 23, and the 22 just didn't get put in there.
Actually, I just watched that video before I came in here, cause I thought we did do it and it went to council, but the paperwork didn't. What happened was the ordinance, and Zach was handing out the ordinances, and we had one that just said the 2023, and you even brought it up saying, well, there's one for 2022, and he said, let's do this one and then come back. Well, we didn't come back, so I think we voted in an earlier meeting to do it anyway, but we need to have the ordinance written
Yes,
for
and,
the 22,
yeah,
so
and
that
so I wasn't able to actually attend the council meeting, but,
they're not gonna do it without us with the
and they just
resolution.
said that they didn't have a problem with it, they just need the resolution from you guys.
Yeah, so,
And that's it.
so anyway, we'll get Zach to do that, and we'll approve the ordinance. I think we've already done it anyway, so.
Okay, so yeah, good
All
news,
right.
we got the HAVA grant and we have that, so.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Yeah. Will,
Actually, Michelle, I'll need that front page, because we'll have to have the council sign that too.
how you doing?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
Hey, well,
Yeah, good to see you. So yeah, I wanted to come in here and give you an update, for EMA and 911. Good news as well, we were awarded the Duke Energy Foundation grant. That was in the amount of $2,750. That's, earmarked for a drone program, so hopefully we can get an additional drone, here in this near future. So we should have those funds in 30 to 60 days, and,
Question on that.
yes,
That's an EMA deal, but,
yes.
Originally, when all the drones started coming out, you know, the FAA really didn't say anything, but now they're getting into where they're requiring people to be certified
Yes.
to fly drones. I
Yes.
mean, so, or, I guess the question is, are we certified to fly drones?
Not currently.
So, what's that, do you have any idea what it entails to do that?
Not specifically, not details. I know a lot of it's online, and there is a training in the middle of January, I wanna say Plainfield. They have an open warehouse that they're gonna do trainings for emergency managers, to bring their equipment and, do some testing.
Okay.
So,
I'll
Well-
check on that for you too, because I think maybe our surveyors in the state may have the license, so I'll check on that for you.
Yeah, I knew it got so hairy there for a while that, they finally just said, you know, too many people are doing it, and they wanna make sure that whoever's doing it knows how to do it instead of crashing something or tearing something up, so.
right, right.
I wanna make sure we're on board, so, what else you got?
So, again, on the EMA side, we have a multi-hazard mitigation plan. We're in the final stages of getting that completed through Chris Burke Engineering. That is something that the county's required to do every 5 years. They're in the final stages, they're working on the appendix right now, and then they're gonna do an in-house review. Once that in-house review is complete, they're gonna send it back to EMA for the EMA to review.
Okay.
But, beyond that, that's all I really have for EMA. 911, just wanna say, the dispatch floor is back to full staff. We're operating, pretty well. We're very fortunate in the situation we're in. We hired a young lady dispatcher who's been with us part-time since September. She's joined us on the full-time team, and, another lady, that was with us about 2 years ago, reached out and applied, and she has about 2 years' experience with us, and she wanted to come back, and we're pretty fortunate for that situation.
That always helps.
Yeah, it does. So, and with your permission, your authorization, I've reached out to In Dark Window Tinting. It's a small tinting shop in Scottsburg. His name's Kyle Spicer. And I would like to, the inside windows of dispatch, do a mirror one-way tint, just to improve the security of the center, as far as people being able to see inside the dispatch room.
I think that's okay. I think the only way anybody's ever gonna see in there is if it's dark outside and you're standing in a dark room looking in, because I've been in that room multiple times and it's hard to see anybody in there, so.
Right.
But I think that's a good idea, especially after the report that, we got from IDAC, so. And I think that's fair, but, I was gonna ask you, so go ahead before you get done.
Tactical wayfinding, you may have seen an email today, from Andrew Campbell.
I saw that.
Okay, so, just would like to give you an open invite to, come to dispatch and see the program, the software. This is provided by School District 2, Mark Slayton, they purchased this. And really what it's gonna do for us as dispatchers is give us a, really good visual of the layouts of the schools and, the doors, the entryways. So that's gonna improve security a lot.
Yeah, I tried to look through some of that. It's pretty interesting, so.
Yeah.
So when is that date?
As far as the software being live, so we are essentially live with the inside dispatch once responders start downloading it. We sent out the notification to have them have access to that link. Once they start using that link, we can start communicating through it. So we're ready to go. We're just gonna show and be patient with responders and have them come into dispatch, and if they want to break down of how it works, a tutorial or what have you, we'll do that then.
Okay.
But yeah, seems promising.
Okay.
And
What else you got?
that's all I have for that. And if you guys see fit, if you gentlemen see fit, regarding to the interim position compensation, that's something that I'd be remiss if I didn't ask for.
Yeah, I think, we ought to, go back to that week ending when Jeff resigned, from that point forward, just, have him as the interim. Are you all right with that, Greg? And I have one thing, I know you've been working on the emergency sirens and stuff.
Yes.
Those all operational again?
So, we are operational in the Scott County 911 Center. We are sending out a good signal. The signal is not being picked up by Scottsburg City Sirens. So their radio is an outdated radio that is and I don't pretend to be a radio expert, but it's a wideband radio and we're sending out a narrowband signal. And a lot of times the siren will not pick up our frequency that we're sending out to get them to go off.
So they need to upgrade their radio?
That's correct. And I had the opportunity to speak with Mayor Terry Amick at a meeting that we were both in. And he is already talked to his superintendent of the electric department. They've got the frequencies and all the codes that they need to fix that issue. And it seems like it's gonna be very soon that they're gonna have those radios upgraded on the sirens. So.
But it's only affecting one, isn't it?
So we're having trouble with Beechwood Avenue, the
Cause I heard
Beechwood
them going
Park.
off, I heard one going off the other night, or the
Yeah.
other day, but it was out by Walmart.
Right, so we got the fairgrounds is operating okay, Scottsburg City Police right there behind that, that's operating okay, but the Beechwood Park seems to be hit or miss. And we did we advised Scottsburg Electric that we are going to set off those sirens every Wednesday until we can really trust the system. We didn't set them off today because it was kind of overcast. We didn't want to worry anyone. So, but the plan is every Wednesday at noon.
Well, I think that used to be a given, just as a test, so.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, or something that piggybacks with the sirens is, we still have the text messages going out for emergency situations, correct?
Yes, so we have.
And I get those, so that's why I'm just
And
saying that.
I'm glad you brought that up. I would like your permission, Greg, and I know Randy's not present, but the Nixle is our mass notification system. And right now, some of the contacts are outdated, so I would like to include the three of you in a group. Particularly just you three would be in one group, so if we needed to send out a message to just you three, we can. But I'd really like to start advertising this Nixle program. We don't have a lot of subscribers in comparison to the population of Scott County. So I think if we can get word out a little bit more, and whether it's Facebook or the Scott County Gov Facebook page, which is
Yeah.
nice, that was a good addition.
That's actually, there's a lot of people,
Yeah.
looking at that, so.
So, and also for future reference, with Nixle, we're able to send out these messages to a specific area. It could be a radius of an area, or it can be just a zip code. So that's something that we can use to our benefit if needed. I know there were some issues with trash dumping in a particular area.
Yeah.
Well, we could send an advisory, something, a non-urgent message to those people in that area.
Well, with that, if you're in, I know I've asked Jeff this in the past, and didn't know how many people were actually utilizing it. I know my family does, because I know that they tell me when they get the text, but
Right.
maybe we need to, and I can do this, or you can do it, or however, maybe notify those school systems and have them tell all those kids, because,
Yeah.
there's 1,000 kids there that,
So,
can go home to mom and dad and say, look here, I got this on my phone, and maybe then mom and dad will put it on their phones.
that's a great idea. I've seen that done. I've seen where managers will send a flyer to all the schools, and all the schools give them out to all the students, and they take it home in their backpack or what have you, and if you can grab a couple hundred extra people, that's great.
Yeah, because it works, because especially like snow, tornadoes or whatever, it
Right.
gives you a little warning to be able to do something. Or we haven't really had too many cold spells, but I mean, if we had a really bad cold spell, we could put something on there about, having warming centers or something where people could go to, so. All right, that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Kevin? Since Nick's not here, I'll just move you on up. He's not on. I know you was looking.
So these are just gonna be drafts. I was hoping they wouldn't be drafts at this point, but that's what they're gonna be tonight. So NDOT has upped the CCMG from 1 million to 1.5 in the 2024-1 call,
Really?
which starts January 2nd or 1st, not probably 2nd. So anyway,
So that bumps up our,
it does, so we're budgeted for the $1 million match, but, my proposal was, since we're budgeting our asphalt line, is to do some chip seal work, on, I think that first page you got there, Mike. I got, $626,000 worth of that. This kind of breaks down the roads, the square footage that we're looking at, the cost estimate. I think that would probably be a good place to put the other, 500,000. And then, of course, we was already planning to do the 5 structures with the first $1 million. So, that definitely helps us stretch it out a little ways, so. Like I said, we got the 333 budgeted, because we was ready for it. We would pull the other match money out of the asphalt line, which is around 125,000.
that's what I was thinking.
Which would leave us, roughly 275, 250, for asphalt work that we'll do in-house.
So this chip and seal, I don't know, we don't have the equipment yet, but
So this is,
this is bid.
we put it out for annual bids to see where we was at. So we got bid on single layer, we got bids everywhere from like 250 to 3.25. So I figured I split it down the middle, I figured at 287. Hopefully with this mileage, which, was 19.42 miles, hopefully we'll get a lot better numbers than what I put down here, with the square footage.
But with but where I was getting at is that this is for a community crossing grant, correct?
Yes.
So with the grant, someone else is gonna be doing the chip
Yes.
seal.
Yeah, we'll bid it out just like we do
Yeah,
asphalt.
that's where I was getting at, yeah.
Right. You're probably looking at that square footage mark, you're looking at around $32,000 a mile at that square footage mark. That I got figured out here. So that'll stretch it out a lot further. And a lot of these roads, we picked these roads off of, our asphalt management plan, so any road that was around a 5 or 6 that was kind of heavily traveled, that was mostly picked out for the first round.
Okay. Alright, sounds good.
On the other page, this was just the small structures that we was looking at. Those numbers are pretty solid. I won't have them until the 1st of January to nail them down, but, they all got some options. The ones that are circled, the ones we're gonna go with on those. And I guess really the only other thing I need is, this top sheet is a financial commitment letter. It's just a draft right now, because my numbers are gonna change just a little bit. So we just need to make a motion for Mike to be able to sign, the commitments outside a regular meeting. Or I might be able to bring it back. I think we had a meeting at 3rd, so, but as long as we're good with that, then, like I said, those numbers will get adjusted, so it's not quite ready. They're close, though.
Huh? What'd you say?
That goes to my boss.
Oh,
Yeah,
guess I'll entertain a motion to allow me to sign outside of a regular board meeting, so.
I'll make that motion.
Greg makes that motion and I'll second that, so. Since Randy's got a commitment tonight.
I mean, I think Kevin just came up with a great plan, and I'm excited to see us start moving in other ways. I know, for a lot of folks, they like to see that road get paved all the time, but we just can't financially do that.
I crunched a couple numbers where I come up and off our annual bids, the prices that we got off our annual bids, it would cost us, around $7.17 a square yard for HMA if we put it down. That's just material, that's not labor, that's not fuel, that's just material. So you're looking at 31,000 if it was contracted out, and the asphalt would cost us 80,000 if we done it. So the reality of the fuel and the labor is more like 100,000. That's the reality.
That's went up substantial in the last several
Yeah,
years.
it keeps crawling up.
It's almost doubled, I mean, because we used to be able to pave ourselves like for 45, I think, and it was 55 or 60 for us to bid it out, and, now it's,
Of course, as you know, it's preservation, it's not asphalt, so.
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
not, we're preserving what we got, we're not
But even-
saying we're not gonna pave anything,
But even that's has went up, because I think that was 3 or 4 years ago, was like 11,000 or 12,000
Well, with us doing it, it'd be more around, if we was doing it with our equipment, we'd be more around the 12 to 14,000, and all be out. It's of course double, pretty well,
But to your point, Mike, I mean, you're right, I mean, asphalt is skyrocketed, and that's why, on big jobs, concrete now is competitive, with asphalt. That's why you'll see sections on 65 now, it's concrete.
So if you look at the match money, those chip miles would cost the county $8,000 a mile, out of our budget, so that'd be pretty hard to beat, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we're getting, potentially 19 and a half miles
And those roads we figured was just about our widest roads in the county. Most of it was 19 to 20 feet. Majority of our roads average about 16. But those are the widest.
And get a number of years for, you know.
Well, it's all
lifetime.
about- It's all about getting a bigger bang for a buck too.
Right, yeah. That's all I got, so.
Alright, I'll still get with you about what I.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just bring it up.
I'll be there tomorrow, so.
I'll talk to you about it. Oh, Bridge 105,
Yeah.
so that's still,
I didn't have an update on it. I'll have one on the 3rd. I mean, it's still moving.
it's still
Yeah,
moving.
it's
They
still
said
moving in the
beams
right
on
direction. Yeah, the beams are set, who's putting the pans in. They had just a couple little minor things. They had to change nothing major. They started forming the back wall and they have it forming now. So it's all going the right way.
They're ready to pour that deck.
Yeah.
Pour it on.
Yeah, there's.
But the
moving right
tamp's
along.
done, goodness.
Yeah, well, so far,
So
we've
far,
been
so
lucky,
good.
real lucky.
Yeah.
So that was our big push, cause it's, you know, we know it's coming, so. But they're out of the dirt, they're out of the mud, they're up on top, so that helps.
That's a
Yeah.
positive,
It's possible.
so.
Good deal. Any updates on Banner? Cause he didn't play over the weekend.
Not practicing yet. So we'll see.
See ya.
Alright. Considerations of,
Well, can we, Denise wants to be on the agenda.
oh, I didn't even know you weren't on the agenda. As you came in, you acted like
She
you were
doesn't
on.
email, so it gets forgotten.
Oh. Alright, I'll entertain a motion to amend, you better be lucky if he says yes.
See,
I'll entertain a motion to amend the agenda to allow the VA to make a presentation. Greg makes a motion to amend the agenda to allow our VA coordinator to present, so I'll second that, so now you can talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am not gonna start off with good news. I'm gonna start off with bad news. We did not get the wall that heals for 2024. The reason behind it is Jackson County got it in 2023. They've invited us to request it again for 2025. So it's not never, it's just we were too close in proximity to last year's.
Yeah, I like to do that.
I have currently 14 names to add to our war memorial that I'm asking you guys to budget. 3 to Vietnam, and then 11 to Gulf War. Do you want me to read them off, or do you want to?
Oh, you, well, yeah, I'll read it.
Okay, perfect.
Make sure there's no names I can't read. Looks like from Vietnam, we got, James Higdon, Tommy Baker, Greg Barton, or I'm sorry, Robert Greg Barton.
But it is Greg Barton.
Yeah, Greg just passed away.
Yes, sir.
James White, James Jones Jr., Brandon Kiefer, Sebastian Smith, Michael Durst, Clinton James, James Vyers, James White, Catherine Campbell, Ryan Kane, and Ashley Lee. So,
I'm also requesting, sorry to interrupt, I'm also requesting 5 additional slots. Every time we bring this up into a meeting, within the next week, I'm gonna get phone
You're
calls
fine.
coming all the time. So I'm just kind of projecting that. The death date doctor, right now, it's $100 a line. So that's total of $1,900 that we're
can you
requesting.
talk to him and see if he can
Yes, sir, I
keep
will.
the same font?
Font, yes, sir,
that,
that's,
was on it
we've
before?
already had this, yes, sir, I sure will. So I just wanna get this ball rolling. Usually it takes a few months because of the weather, but to get all of these together, and I've got all the DD 214, so they meet all the
Well,
requirements.
he's sandblasting cars right now, so he ought to have some time.
Yes, sir.
So, I'll entertain a motion to allow them to engrave some more names on the monument.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Greg makes the motion, and I'll second that, and I appreciate, you doing that, and you're right. There's people that I didn't know, and you said if they don't come in and talk to you, then they don't know that they exist in the county, so.
Correct. I don't have visibility on them.
So, you know, people's watching this and they got family members that have served in the past and maybe they're deceased or something and they want their name on the wall, then they need to come and speak to you.
Yes, sir. And they also have to be in a wartime era. So it can't be, it's not designated for peacetime, it must be wartime era.
The world was at war.
Yes, sir. The next piece is, and I'll give this to you, on last Tuesday, the 19th of December, they came down from Indianapolis, the DAR, so the Daughters of the American Revolution, sponsored and paired with Sammy Davis, who is the only only veteran in the state of Indiana that is a Medal of Honor recipient that is still alive. Him and his organization have put this book together. And it's the 50th year. I will let you guys take a look at that as well. It goes year by year, and it takes stories from the Library of Congress from our veterans. This one is specifically to Vietnam. It is a free gift that is given to our Vietnam veterans. On the 19th, we awarded 18 of those books, and then that's the picture of all the DAR representatives that were there as well. Since then, Jill, who kind of spearheads it for Sammy, has given me additional books. I have awarded 3 of them, and I still have additional books in my office. After that, we had a town hall meeting which discussed the PACT Act, and really got into the hospital piece, which is now projected to be completed in 2026 in Louisville. It's been annotated. Suicide prevention is a big piece that we've been focusing on. 60%, veterans are 60% less likely to commit suicide if they are involved in the VA healthcare and in the VA system. Unfortunately, this county had a suicide in 2023. I had no visibility of it, and so I don't want that ever to happen again. So that is a big push to get veterans into my office. In general, veterans are very private, to say the least, and will not talk to somebody that cannot relate to them. So we want to get them in and get those services done. For the Operation Holiday program that Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs sponsored, this, for the holiday season, it is a $200 meal for the family, $300 per dependent child that they can receive. We had 14 applications that went in. To my knowledge, all of them have been approved except for one, and we go to an appeal process tomorrow for that one. So as of my last piece, December, we've seen 73 plus veterans in the office. And then going back to the suicide prevention, I was told I needed to talk to y'all to get a cell phone stipend for me so that my veterans can reach me 24/7 and my cell phone number can be publicized.
We can do that. We'll have to have our attorney do it at the next meeting. We'll get a ordinance written with every one of those so that.
I gave one of those to a veteran today, and he was almost in tears and said he was going to read every single story. So it's very touching. And in the back of this book, there is a DVD that's about an hour long, and it specifically sets war protesters in front of Vietnam veterans, and they have a discussion, so they have a meeting of the minds. I've been told that it's very emotional, to say the least. But I do have these, and I probably have the ability to get more in my office. So if there's a Vietnam veteran out there that did not get this, then please do. What I was really happy with is the 18 veterans that were awarded this are all clients of ours. At the town hall meeting, all but 2 were clients of ours, so I was able to wrap my arms around this. So the word is getting out, our office is getting noted, so we are making progress in the world of VA.
That's a great collection that's in that book.
And then I will give those to you to share. Any
All right.
questions?
No, it sounds good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep,
Thank you very much.
appreciate it. And still having a problem with drivers?
Yes, sir. I have one. One is all I have right now.
Same one?
Yes, sir, it is. And the biggest hangup right now with my veterans is the COVID vaccine. They must have the COVID vaccine in order to be a volunteer driver. They have not lifted that requirement. And that's VA's policy and Mobley Rex's policy, not mine. However, if we could get a vehicle just by the county,
Do what?
if we could get the county to donate one and then we keep the upkeep, then we wouldn't have that stipulation. Just have a little note out there. I'm just saying. That's a different meeting.
We can get the VA to drop the,
That would be great. Have you ever tried to fight with the VA? I have. They're pretty unforgiving.
thank you.
Gentlemen.
Thank you.
Alright, back to the invoices. Oh, either one.
I'm sorry, the invoices is first,
Yeah.
sorry. There you go.
Alright, special?
I
Any
think,
specials?
I think they're all grouped, I think actually those are kinda all special because they're year end,
Yeah.
that she went ahead and put them that way so that you wouldn't have big packet.
Greg, you had the opportunity to look through all these. I know, Brandy sends them, you know, Mandy, I said Brandy. Mandy sends them in an email. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the year-end, claims.
I'll make that motion.
Greg makes a motion, I'll second that, so. And while we're doing this, payrolls for, entertain a motion to consider the payroll for December the 15th.
Make that motion.
And, Greg makes the motion, I'll second that, so. And we have an FMLA. Oops, sorry. Jennifer, you have anything while we're? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve this, FMLA request for leave.
I'll make the motion for that.
Greg makes a motion, I'll second that.
And they're on the minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll table the minutes till January meetings. With that, Greg, do you have anything else you wanna say, talk about, or mention?
No, not really, I just, appreciate everyone and our first year and getting through, some of the issues that we come across and folks' patience. But I know we talked last meeting about, you know, getting much stiffer with our ordinances. We have people that reach out to you on things, I have as well, and we'll start cleaning things up. You know, what folks don't understand, it's hard to get folks to want to invest and move here. And so we have to do our part to try to get some things cleaned up. And, you know, show some enforcement on some of these things. So that's number one. Number two, I'm also looking forward to, we've got the new company that's gonna start hiring, get off the ground, the OK Corps facility. So looking forward to that. I just really think that, you know, moving forward into 24, you know, I think we're gonna see a little bit more growth, and with that will come some more opportunities and some things. So I just wanna thank you guys for working with me and Marty and lean on Marty a lot, and Jennifer, thank you. So
It's been a fast year, hasn't it?
Oh, it's,
Should've been here in 2020, but, COVID, it really went fast.
Man, this has been fast.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna echo some of what you said. I mean, it's been a pleasure working, with you this year. I know it's, people think this is a easy job and that it's part-time, but it's not part-time, it's part-time, full-time. It's, I don't know how I did it when I was working full-time, and, now that I'm retired, I can't get done what I've been asked to do, so, have to, you know, do better of, completing some of the tasks that I've put myself into as well, so. And I know, Jennifer, you were new this year, and take my hat off to you to, taking on a position that you're kinda left high and dry with, and, it wasn't too much of a, transition. It was, here's your keys and passwords, and see you, you know, at the grocery store, so. I hate that. I mean, you know,
But I inherited an amazing team.
I know
did
you did.
inherit an amazing team.
Well, actually, I will say that I did talk to your team, you know, before you took office, and they assured me that they weren't gonna let anything drop and fall,
And they have not.
so, and that's the people we got working in the courthouse, and I mean, you know, like I said, sometimes they get the wrong end of, some criticism, but they do a lot of stuff. People don't understand what they do, and again, I'm sure Greg is reflecting back on the year that he's had here and think, well, I didn't think it was gonna be all that, but, and it is some, so, but it's been, a quick year, I'm gonna say, cause there's a lot of things that have happened, and, now that we haven't got it done yet, but, the money's been allocated and everything to purchase City Hall to expand the courthouse facilities, so, paperwork hasn't been signed on that to finalize that, but it's going to happen, and that's gonna be a big agenda, so, for this year coming, so, and probably some into the next year, so, big things happening, I mean, and, you know, a lot of things that we haven't spent a lot of money on, and a lot of things we tried to spend some money on and weren't able to do that, but hopefully maybe in 2025 we can see some opening to where we can, do some, additional stuff, so.
I just echo something real quick about the, transfer station. I was talking with Mandy earlier, I don't have the exact numbers, but, you know, as we know, and the folks that's been following this for the last year and a half or so, is when this came out, about the deficits that the transfer station deals with, that the county deals with. And so, you know, it looks like this year, we almost brought that back to being, even out there, and, with, I think, maybe only around $1,000 deficit. So, those increases, I know, weren't popular, but in order to keep that service, you know, I felt like that was the right thing to do. And so, we'll dig into those numbers, but just from a 30,000 feet look at it, it looks like that we're bringing that back to even again, so, that's.
And that's true, I mean,
success.
we cut the hours, cut a full-time position to part-time position, and our part-time guy out there is on it. I mean, he
Does a great job.
does a good job, and hopefully he doesn't tell us he's gonna not do it anymore, but it was one of those situations where out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, where you tell people you're going to possibly downsize something or eliminate something, and we had a lot of people contacted us, a lot of people we had a public hearing at the school, and there was a lot of people there, very voiceful, very animated about making sure they kept that service, and I think that was probably, and backing up a second, we didn't wanna do away with the service. That, you know, my quote was, we're not gonna lose $90,000 again to doing trash. I mean, we need to do better at running the business and better at trying to right the ship, I guess I should say. And I guess what we've done is maybe helped, and hopefully we can continue that, so.
Now, I don't know if that includes the Ecotech, that's what I'm confused
Yeah.
about there, but, you know.
What she talked to you about was the collections, the Sasco or
Yes.
Star, whatever
Yeah.
that's called now,
So
but,
that's-
We brought that kind of full circle now.
yeah, that one's
Well,
pretty clear.
with that, you know, we have some old equipment out there, and we're gonna have to look down the road of replacing, or maybe replacing one of them, you know, and then replacing another one later, which
It's an investment.
it's an investment, and if the taxpayers wanna, you know, if that's what they're wanting, we're gonna have to find a way to alleviate the big burden of that money. But I will say this, talking with the city, did find out that what the number I had given me, of $130,000 for a compactor was not a realistic number. I mean, the number is more in the $40,000 range, so, per unit, so, you know, maybe we can keep working with what we got until we can't do it again, and then go from there, so.
And that's the other thing, like, you know, with the folks that's been kind of following along over this past year, if, you know, one of the things that we talk about when Kevin comes in here is we talk about preservation all the time, and if they've noticed, you know, that's where we're driving to save money also for taxpayers. We gotta take care of our infrastructure, and, infrastructure is very expensive. I mean, we can't just pave roads, and I think through years past, that's kind of been the focus. Now we've got to maintain those roads and extend the life cycle of our roads, and doing some of these preservation techniques that we're gonna start looking forward to and investing in, because we also have pipes and culverts and bridges and things that cost a lot of money. So we have to figure out ways to save money in other areas, and you know, we think by, you know, going to some other preservation methods, we'll be able to extend our budgets a lot further and get more out of them. So, you know, there's things that folks will see differently on our roads next year and over the next few years. So we certainly want to pave when we can, and the roads that have to be paved, they'll certainly get that. But we also have to maintain these assets that we've already spent a lot of money on.
Yeah.
So we have to take care of them, just like everybody has to take care of their driveway at home. I mean, so these are the things that we're gonna start looking at and try to save more money as we move forward and start investing in other areas. So I'm anxious to see how some of these methods will come, and then hopefully we can start saving more money by doing these ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, with that, I mean, we have a highway department, probably didn't get enough praise, but they, every day I think they work, they save the county money.
Absolutely.
I mean, they, especially with Kevin, at the helm there, he finds ways to fix things the correct way and with a savings. And there was a bridge that, I guess in a normal year, we would have probably took out, but it ended up being something that, after I guess there was some flood water came through and wiped out some paving on it and stuff, and I thought it was cracked all to heck and probably had to be taken out, but after it got down inside of it and looking at it, there was no cracks in this thing, and of course, I guess they made concrete better in the 50s than they make them today, so, but they ended up cutting the sidewalls off of it, making it wider, paving it and now it's, we got a new bridge that's gonna last for a while. It probably costs us $30,000, and then on a normal year would probably gonna cost $500,000, so. Those things those guys do every day, and they're doing that, they're doing the labor, not just calling somebody else out and having them do it, so.
Yeah, and we just talking today about, I was talking to Kevin about, stockpile of salt and, how much we had on hand out there. So, I mean, those guys are also ready for winter, to come up, and they also know that they're out there ready to keep folks safe and keep our county open for business. And so looks like they've got everything they need to get going as soon as the weather hits. So.
Yeah, and we do brine some major arteries, so, so that's all I got. Outside of, this will be the last meeting in 2023 that Miss Marty's gonna be officially a county employee, so wanted to acknowledge her, and I'll do it again the first year, because she's not going anywhere for a while, but, so anyway, we'll talk at the first meeting in January, so.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you, Marty, and luckily, I think we got somebody really good to help fill your shoes, and we're excited to get her on board and get going, but thank you for all you do. You're a wealth of knowledge, and I'm certainly gonna miss you, so thank you so much.
She's changing her number too, so.
I guarantee she
call her.
will. Yeah, I guarantee she will.
So,
Good idea.
so with that, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that, so kill the bird.